suppose first of all then, for tomorrow, how good would it be just to see off a pretty incredible season, one more 3 points?
That's the task. I think that's the challenge to the players. Can you finish the season in style? Last home game of the season, last game of the season, clearly achieved everything we've set out to do in terms of the league campaign, which is brilliant, but you want to finish the season with a win at home. It'll be a really difficult game, always are, but really good games to look forward to, and I'm sure the atmosphere will be good as well. I know the following the Hibs supporters the tickets have sold and everything that goes with that, so you want to finish the season on a high as much as we can, and that's a challenge to the players.
Obviously a bit different from how all the seasons felt, where so much has been on the line that tomorrow obviously it's not going to change your position in the table, but can you afford to look at it as a bit of a free hit, or is that a dangerous thing to do?
Not at all. There's certainly no such thing as a nothing game for both sets of players. I know they'll be desperate to win. Rangers will be trying to win the game, and these games are always pretty feisty. They're always good. There've been all close games this season, and all the games we've played against them, so we want to try and win again this season against them, and it'll be a difficult game, as I just touched on there, but it's a brilliant game to look forward to, and as you've just touched on the way the seasons went, everything that's came off the back of it, all the accolades the players are getting, and rightly so for the performances they've put in. You certainly want to go and finish it as well as you can, and there's no better way to do it than to win your last game of the season.
Off the back of confirming third place, things for the summer, being able to accelerate a little bit now that you know some of what you're going to have to play with?
Not really. There's nothing changed at this point just now. My focus is just finishing the season as strongly as we can. We've got one last game to go, and then there'll be a little bit of downtime and a little bit of reflection then to see exactly what we're going to do. Clearly the idea is to always try and improve and keep moving the club forward. That's going to be the challenge, and then the hard work will start getting ready for next season. But right now it's all about finishing the season as strongly as we can and trying to finish with 3 points at home.
How much will the budget that's available to you depend on maybe what happens in the Scottish Cup final, and if Aberdeen end up losing that game, then of course you'll have guaranteed group stage football until Christmas?
No, that's something for the conversations that will be happening with the club anyway. My job's to improve the players all the time, so as I say, right this moment in time, it's something we'll see where we're at in the next couple of weeks and find out exactly what's going to be happening next season. But we always want to improve. We always want to try and improve the group and try and improve the club. And I think the players we've done a lot of really good work already with the players who are at the club already, and appreciating what we've already got, which is really important because I've talked a lot about how good the group is. So that was key. And then moving forward about trying to strengthen, always keep moving the club forward. And I think the opportunity to play in Europe, whatever that looks like, is a brilliant achievement for the club and a brilliant achievement for the players.
We're hearing from Dwight there that he's definitely going to be retiring in the summer. I mean, was that something you tried to maybe twist his arm and convince him one more season? A
few times. I think even the boys, every time he came on last week and scored and little things like that, he comes back into the dressing room and everyone will shout one more year, all these sort of things. He'll score a goal in training even if people are starting shouting one more year. He deserves to do it whatever way he wants to do it, for everything he's put into the game, the sacrifices he's made his whole career, how good a career he's had. He's been outstanding, and I can only thank him for his contribution this season. He's been fantastic on and off the pitch, especially off the pitch. I know everyone will look at the things he does on the pitch. He's scored some massive goals for us, of course he has, and affected games, as you know he would, but how he's been every single day around the building, a proper leader by example, role model for the younger players as well. And again, he deserves to retire in this way because of how much he's put into it, and at least we've managed to, I'm sure if you ask him, he'll say he's really enjoyed this season as well. So that's something that everyone's played a part in. So he fully deserves to go out the way he wants to go out.
And when it comes to replacing Dwight, also potentially some of the other players out of contract, players loans ending, how big of a task will that be in the summer? And is it maybe slightly frustrating after such a good season that you will lose a bit of that core then?
I think that's always natural every year. I think you'll always have ins and outs. I think players as you've already touched on, there's some loan players who've been at the club and done incredibly well. There'll always be conversations about what next season looks like. Take Nectar for example, he was there last season on loan and then we managed to get him back this season. There'll be conversations always going on, as I've said, but that'll be after this weekend really, once we find out exactly what's happening. And the players will need to go away. A lot of them will be on international duty as well straight away, so there'll be lots of communication and lots of chats that naturally this time of the year that starts to happen. But the key focus is about making sure we strengthen the squad in the right areas, but also understanding exactly what we've got, which is a really good group here.
And just on some of those that are out of contract, is there any movement on, I suppose, particular Rocky and Martin Boyle as well?
lots of positive conversations. I know I've said that a lot. The one thing we've been very consistent with the two of them is making sure it doesn't distract her from the performances, and it certainly isn't. I think the two of them, they're both known that the contract situation is what it is for the last 6 months, and you'd arguably say they've been at the very top of their game, the both of them, for the last 6 months as well. So that's real credit to them for the level of professionalism and appetite to be the best they can be, and they're certainly doing that. And they've got one big game at home, final push to go and do that, and I'm sure it'll be the way everybody wants to do that.
Just finally then, you mentioned internationals, good Hibs contingent going away for Australia, just in terms of, I suppose, Jack in particular, but Hector, he gets first cap as well. Just how proud are you of them, and what does that show in terms of what you can offer players in the summer as well?
Yeah, that's always the attraction of playing for such a big club. We say it all the time when you're trying to bring players to the club, or the reasons why you would join this football club is what it can do on the national stage, and I think the Australian boys are an example of that. Rocky Bashiri, even, players who, if you play well consistently at this level, it's a very good level that national team managers can take note on, and I think the players that have all been called up, the Australian boys especially, delighted for Jack. I think he's had a fantastic season and really deserves to be called up into the camp. It's brilliant. It's the highlight of anyone's sort of career. It's something that there's no greater honour than to try and represent your country, so anyone getting the opportunity to do that is fantastic, and it's always a reflection on how good the group's been, but also the level in which the club's operating in, so that's really positive for everybody.
And just with Jack, do you think that one might be something Scotland might look back in the future and think that maybe it was a trick that was missed there?
I don't know. I think that's something that you'd have to ask Jack as well, depending where his allegiances lie, I suppose, but I think all I'm concentrating on is, am I getting the most out of him every single day here, and I certainly am. He's been a fantastic addition to the group, on and off the pitch, another brilliant character. I speak a lot about the group in terms of the characters that are in there, and he's a proper leader as well. As I say, he's had a real good first season. Delighted that we've managed to extend that stay for him as well, and he's another one that understands the level, and he's been a real good addition this season.